The PS4 Pro. You know, a lot of people thought this was originally going to be called the PlayStation 4K, but as clever as that name is, there's a good reason that Sony didn't call it the PS4K. One, it doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. Two, and most importantly, you do not need a 4K television to immediately notice the enormous difference in both graphics and performance between the two PlayStation 4s. When I popped in Battlefield 1 on the PS4 Pro, I knew immediately I needed to make a video on this. The difference is quite striking. I still can't get over how much better Battlefield 1 looks and plays on the Pro version. To put things in perspective, I don't have a 4K television. I have a 1080p projector, and I play on a 120-inch screen. To put that into perspective, most large televisions are around 60 inches. My screen is double that size, so every imperfection, every flaw in the original PlayStation 4, every sign of its age is just tenfold for me. I can see all of it, and I wasn't expecting to be immediately impressed with the PS4 Pro. I was expecting a bump in frame rate, but that was about it. I thought it wouldn't be a huge difference in graphics, and then I saw this. Left side is the Pro, right side is the PlayStation 4. Initially, it may look like there's a big difference in colors between the two images, but you would be wrong. It's rather a bigger difference in terms of textures. The textures are far higher resolution on the left side of the screen, so you're going to see deeper blacks. You're going to see more detail, more pop. It's going to be more vibrant because there's more there. There's more in the texture, especially in the rocks and the grass, but also you're going to see more aliasing in the trees on the PS4 version. The Pro version is going to be more accurate for the aliasing, and also, this really surprised me. Take a look at the bottom left-hand circle. Look at how soft it is on the PS4 and how sharp it is and more defined and how much more clarity you have on the Pro version. Also notice the bottom circle, the tank gun. It has no textures on the PS4 version, yet it very clearly has a texture on the Pro version. I wasn't expecting a difference this large when I first turned on Battlefield 1. When I first booted up Battlefield 1 on the PS4 Pro, I was like, what's going on here? The image is so much more clear. I have a 1080p projector. It's not 4K. What resolution is this running at? Are the textures different? Are the models different? Well, it looks like almost everything is just a little bit different. But if you guys need to see more slides, I highly recommend you guys rewind it and check out that graphics wipe as many times as you need to. But I'm not going to be doing any more graphics wipes in this video. And that's because this is a difficult comparison to make. It's not just about the difference in graphics. The difference in graphics is pretty astounding. The textures are far better on the Pro version. The models are better. I think the meshes maybe even have more polygons, but it doesn't stop there. And this is something that I can't compare with a simple swipe. The performance is far better on the PlayStation 4 Pro version. It runs at a solid 60 FPS. Sometimes it dips down to I would say 56. It doesn't dip down very low, and it really doesn't dip down very often either. But beyond the frame rate issues with the PlayStation 4 version and the Xbox One version, and they do have a lot of frame rate issues, they range from 60 FPS to 45 FPS roughly, and anywhere in between. The problem is it's not very consistent. You're not often going to be playing at 60 FPS on the regular PS4 or the Xbox One. However, most of the time you will be playing at 60 FPS on the Pro version. This is something that's going to be patched eventually. Eventually, all versions will run at a solid 60 frames per second, but something that isn't going to change is the dynamic resolution, and this isn't something that I can show you in a slide. This right here is dynamic resolution. You'll notice that it goes from relative clarity on the OG PS4 version to muddy, fuzzy blurriness, and that is dynamic resolution. When it goes to fuzzy and blurry looking everything, that's basically the resolution on the OG PS4 going from 900p down to 540p or 480p or 240p or 720p. The game, to maintain a consistent frame rate without sacrificing beautiful graphics, has to change the resolution on the fly, so you're not always going to see 900p on the OG PS4. I have many times seen it dip down to 240p on 64-player operations when I'm in a vehicle. It's not pretty, and it can last 5 seconds at 240p before it bumps itself back up to 900p or 800p. It doesn't consistently stay at a single resolution. But the PlayStation 4 Pro version, we don't know what resolution it's running at. The base resolution, it's speculated to be anywhere between 1440p, which is 2K, or 1800p. The Battlefield forums seem to believe it's 1800p, but until DICE gives us an affirmative answer, we don't really know what it's running at. It's believed to at least be 2K, 1440p. And it does utilize dynamic resolution, so it's going to change between the max resolution and I would say the lowest resolution I've seen it on is probably 1080p. I think it probably switches between somewhere around 2K to 1800p and its lowest of 1080p. Maybe the lowest is 900p, but I have not seen the resolution change very much with the PlayStation 4 Pro version of the game, which is great. That's exactly what you want. Now, before you guys get up in arms about how this is unfair, PC gamers have been dealing with this since the dawn of PC gaming. This has always been a problem. Some people have better rigs than others, but this is something that's unprecedented with consoles. Obviously, we've never had multiple versions of a console with different specs. We've had better fans, maybe internal power supplies, a slimmer profile, and that's about it. But the Pro has better specs. It's up to the developers to modify their game to run better on the Pro, have a better frame rate, have better graphics. The fact that Battlefield 1 runs better on the Pro is not Sony's fault. The PlayStation 4 is going to continue to age no matter what. They can't stop that. It's up to DICE or really any developer to patch their games to run smoothly on both the Pro and the PlayStation 4. It's not like you're going to have some type of an advantage, ideally, on the PlayStation 4 Pro compared to the PlayStation 4. Sony has made it so that's not going to happen. The only thing you're going to have different is graphics. But right now, the only thing different is not graphics. You have difference in graphics and performance, but again, it's up to DICE to change that. It's up to developers to change that, not Sony. Eventually, like I said before, all versions of the game are going to run at 60 FPS, which is going to be great, but I have tried a few different games, not just Battlefield 1. I've tried Uncharted 4 on the PS4 Pro, and I didn't really notice a big difference, shockingly, surprisingly. It's supposed to be running at 2K resolution, but again, I didn't see a huge difference in Uncharted 4, which was weird. It was just a quick test. I'm going to have to look more into that. But I did notice a big difference with Titanfall 2. Supposedly, Titanfall 2 hasn't even been patched for the PlayStation 4 Pro. Yet, the graphics look better. It looks like it's running at a higher resolution. It looks like it has higher resolution textures, better meshes, and it seems like it's even smoother than the already silky smooth 60 FPS PS4 version of the game. So far, PlayStation 4 Pro has been very, very impressive to me. I am very happy with it. It's fantastic. And at the price of an original PlayStation 4 at launch, it's a great deal. It's a great deal. And I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing to have Pro versions, Scorpio versions of consoles, because the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, they're looking old. Guys, they're looking old. Gaming is moving at a faster pace now than it did last generation with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. It's moving faster. And obviously, the consoles can't keep up. Watch Dogs 2 has so much more aliasing and so many more jaggies, so much in terms of low textures resolution on the PlayStation 4 version compared to the PS4 Pro version. It's another big difference. And I think that having options is a great thing. I think having the option of having better graphics without it being unfair is a great thing. And I hope that you guys don't get angry about it, because it's really not something to get angry over. Sony has dealt with this as classily as they possibly can. But I'm going to be doing more videos on comparisons between the PlayStation 4 and the PS4 Pro. It's not going to be necessarily comparisons in terms of numbers like the PS4 runs this game at a frame rate of 53.5 is the average frame rate, and it seems like the average frame rate is 59.2 on the PS4 Pro. That's semantics. I'm going to be talking about if it's actually worth it to you. If you own a 4K TV, if it's worth it. If you own a 1080p TV, if it's worth it. If you have HDR, if you don't have HDR, things like that. Because frame rates, that's going to be patched. That's going to be changed. But whether it's worth it, whether the difference is actually palpable, whether it's useful, that, in my opinion, is far more useful in terms of videos and information. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you found it entertaining. If you did, don't forget to leave a like or subscribe for more videos like this. We also do live streams. But yeah, keep an eye out for those PlayStation 4 Pro comparison videos, like Watch Dogs 2 is one I'm going to be doing very soon. Also, just a general comparison between the two consoles. But yeah, until next time, guys, game massively. I hope to see you soon.